In this lesson, we will explore the spread of cultural traits from one place to another. This process is called diffusion. First, we'll divide diffusion into two main types: relocation diffusion and expansion diffusion. Then, we'll break expansion diffusion into three specific forms: contagious, hierarchical, and stimulus diffusion. Let's begin with relocation diffusion. This type of diffusion happens when people move and take their cultural traits with them. The culture does not stay and spread from the original location. It is carried somewhere else by the people themselves. For example, when immigrants move to a new country and bring their language, food, or religion with them, they are practicing relocation diffusion. Spanish is spoken in many parts of the Americas because Spanish settlers brought the language during colonial times. The trait moves because the people move. Now let's look at expansion diffusion. In this type, the cultural trait spreads outward from its origin while staying strong at the source. The trait moves from person to person, place to place, growing larger without people having to migrate. For example, when a new slang word, food trend, or fashion style spreads through social media or advertising, it's usually expansion diffusion. Expansion diffusion can happen in three different ways: contagious diffusion, hierarchical diffusion, and stimulus diffusion. Contagious diffusion spreads rapidly and widely like a wave. It moves from person to person and place to place with no regard for hierarchy or importance. The idea or trait spreads to everyone it touches. For example, a viral video on the internet that gets shared by millions of people across the world is an example of contagious diffusion. Another example is the spread of a new slang word among teenagers, moving quickly from one friend group to another regardless of location or social class. Hierarchical diffusion spreads from powerful or influential people or places first, then trickles down to others. The idea moves in a specific order, often starting with leaders, celebrities, or large cities. For example, fashion trends often start in global cities like Paris or New York, and then spread to smaller cities and towns. Technology can also follow this pattern, such as when smartphones were first used by wealthy people before becoming common among the general population. Stimulus diffusion occurs when a cultural trait spreads, but only the underlying idea is adopted, not the original form. The receiving culture changes the idea to fit its own needs. For example, fast food restaurants that began in the United States have been adapted in other countries to fit local tastes. A McDonald's in India may serve vegetarian burgers instead of beef, but the concept of fast, convenient meals remains. The core idea spreads, but the final product is different. Okay, now I want to give you two things to help prep you for the exam. First is a checklist that goes over everything you need to know for AP Human Geography really fast. Read through it and highlight anything you don't know yet for further study. Second, I'll send you some free response practice questions so you can get some exam-style practice. You can grab both from the link in the description. This video has been a snippet from my full 5-hour course review that'll get you exam ready. Click the video on the screen to watch the whole thing.